We do a kickoff meaning that we have the representatives from Never Summer actually come to our classroom. They talk about what they're looking for as far as designs and what they've seen in the past.
You know, if you get a little bit of the wings and stuff cut off on the ends, that's fine.
Mood boards are a way to, collect imagery, patterns, colors, that you think is going to embody what you want this design to turn out to be. I'm seeing beginning sketches and the process, and I'm giving them pointers and fill in the whole space, but having a lot of open areas does help.
I get to see them starting out and what they're thinking about, and they've already got thoughts in their mind what their design's going to be like. After we kind of do our presentation on what the competition entails and everything, we can kind of look at their art and everything that they're doing.
It gives that student that first idea of okay, I can start thinking about what they need to do.
Guys, it's an amazing opportunity for you guys to work on some great stuff. It's also extremely daunting right now too, because you have this huge, giant project in front of you that is not due until January. You have all this pressure. The reason why they're here is because you guys can produce some amazing stuff. And each year I feel like it gets better and better.
Agree.
Early November, we go to the Never Summer factory.
They get to come on a factory tour where they actually can see the entire process of the boards from start to finish. And then they get to see where we do the sublimation and the printing for the top sheets of our snowboards. So they get to talk to some of the technicians and see the actual production.
Like I said, I would really encourage you, if you do follow a career in design, understand the print process.
They get an idea how a snowboard's made.
I think Mr. O and Mr. C make it a point to visit the factory because it really inspires people to see that board finish and printed is honestly a beautiful thing. That's also what really inspired me too, is just seeing it in person.
All of the people that have to touch the snowboard before it even gets the design on it, to really appreciate that process is, I think, a really unique experience that we get here.
It touches roughly about 42 different hands throughout the entire process.
The tour is very helpful and informational because it gave us some criteria on how to do our designs and how to make the designs. What inspired me the most was just seeing the arsenal of all the graphics they had on all their boards and just getting a ton of inspiration from that.
When they see how the snowboards are made, it kind of makes more sense about why the design needs to be created in the certain format it is when they actually see the process.
Going there really showed the whole class how to really take graphic design to the next level.
And they have to learn how to produce something, not just draw it, but actually produce it.
We're over here thinking, oh my gosh, the design and the design and the design, but there's just so much more that goes into what's being represented and who we're making this for.
You know, students really have to think through their process. You know, they work on this they start on it in October and they have until January. In order to come up with a concept that's going to be a strong concept and something that's going to stand out is really difficult for students to do.
Something that's super important about this competition that I learned a lot from is the deadline. We're given 3 months to make this project, and you really have to understand the organization that goes into the project, because it's taking hundreds of hours to make this art piece.
It's really given me the opportunity to explore and learn, especially about like how can I make the composition of the board look satisfying. I'm also building a lot of connections, which is really great.
Last year, I feel like my board had some originality to it, but this year I'm going big or go home, you know, and I'm working on it in better time than I would have last year.
You should be having fun. If you're not having fun, then you got to step back or ask some people and say, what should I do?
I always go through a ton of designs before I end up on the one that I end up submitting. It's a really fun process, just the whole thing. I really like it all.
Being able to improve my skills in art and just having like a creative mind with the snowboard competition.
It's just great to see them be able to express themselves. You know, I think we say this every year, but like I wish I had this in high school, to, you know, to have that ability to express themselves, but also just the professional aspect of it, working with the clients and being able to push themselves, you know, and think in ways that they haven't had to yet.
And then Never Summer actually looks through all of those files and those sales pitches, and then they pick out 20 out of the 80 to 90 students that we have.
That's really hard to do, because there's always one I want in there or Whitney wants in there, and we're like, can't we have 25? Why do we have to have just 20? It's a difficult process. We narrow it down to the top 20.
And then those 20 students, then they have about a 5-minute presentation that they have to do in front of Never Summer. So they go in front of Never Summer with their large printout of their snowboard, and they talk about their design, about why they created what they did, what was their motivation behind it, and why they should be picking that design too. That's a very important part about being a designer, isn't just creating the work, it's convincing the client that the work that you created is the right work for them.
When we get to hear their backstory and their process and how much thought that they put into it, you know, it really carries a design forward and resonates with us. I do really like the colors that you used, like the different greens throughout. It's really warm.
This bar you see here is the color palette for most of the graphics that you see throughout the board.
Helps us understand them and why they wanted to create what they did.
Design, I really wanted to put myself in the bindings and see what I was going to be seeing. I tried to focus a lot on texture in this board, which you can see on the hair, the background, and the daggers.
The wires themselves, I decided
I wanted to look dark but have enough contrast against each other so that you can tell that they are wires.
So, first thing that kind of came to mind was roses and butterflies. They are my favorite thing to draw. It was one of the first things I learned how to draw.
And so I ended up with this mountain morning design that was inspired by my original trip to Loveland Ski Resort.
I wanted to make something completely original. I wanted to make something that no one has seen before, and that challenge in itself was the driving aspect behind this design.
The focal point of my piece is a beetle. One of my favorite childhood memories is going in my backyard and collecting bugs and beetles, and it really brings me so much joy because no matter where I go and where I move, I always seem to find them.
I chose to stipple it, so the master copy of this piece took me about over 100 hours or so.
My board carries the idea of a border between worlds, with its name and its story. A fantastical setting in a familiar object.
But overall, I just hope my board brings people to look back at their intertwined lifestyle and see how they can build their cityscape however they want.
Going down the slope, it feels smooth and magical in a way. That's what made me want to do the Leshy.
So purple symbolizes majesty as well, which is another name for this board.
Walks around the planet, finding people who are alone or misguided, so that's why it's in a forest setting.
My favorite kind of art to create is art that conveys a story. Art that communicates emotions that transcend the abilities of words. Art that goes beyond what you see.
I didn't want to do a stereotypical red phoenix, so I did a blue one instead, and that has symbolism towards my story as well.
And I managed to deliver a very colorful and vibrant cyberpunk city that I'm really proud of.
After that, Never Summer determines the top 10 finalists.
Once we get those 10 narrowed down, and that's when Whitney will get everything set to put it on our social media. We opened it up to the world to see, so it brought some of these designs out to our legions of fans across the world to really propel the contest into the next level. All the factory craftsmen and women in the company will go through and pick their favorites. So we'll have a social media favorite, a factory favorite.
So we kind of have two ultimate winners out of those 10.
We have the award ceremony in April at Warren Tech South in the theater. And it's great, it's fun.
So welcome to the 10th Never Summer Student Design Awards. I am Scott Ondahl, one of the instructors of the graphic design program at Warren Tech Central. Thank you for being here today.
I'm Tammy Morton, the technician for the graphic design department.
Thanks, Tammy. I am Pete Kunis, the other graphic design instructor at Warren Tech.
So if I could introduce Whitney Quaid, one of the graphic designers for Never Summer, if she can come up here on stage. Nice round of applause for Whitney. Jeremy Sawyer, the creative director for Never Summer as well. And then finally, Vince Sanders, their chairman of the board, because he likes to shred.
Never Summer Industries, we're honored for this partnership. And I believe this is important for our society to support career and technical education. If I had this opportunity when I was in school, it would have gave me a big head start on what I do here at Never Summer. Once you see the boards, they always look better than the picture. They come out really beautiful. Hope you guys enjoy them, you know, ride them, hang them on a wall.
Are you guys ready? Yes, I think so. It's now time to award our student snowboard designers.
First, we have Stev Macias with her design Blind Justice. Our next winner is Pink Rory Lim with her board Breath of Lao. Next, we have Maya Ross with her board Rosalie. Kai Leanne Trum with her board A Gift for You. Quinn Dickens with his board Suburbia. Next, we have Samantha Tilley with her board Precipice. We have Annika Aikman with her design Fond Memories. Next, we have Kylie Kissinger with her design 24 Roses. We have the factory votes, Tyson Tafoya with his intertwined lifestyle. Lastly, we have, which is the social media favorite, and it's Rose Walter with Sticky Situations.
That moment that we actually get to take the students' actual physical boards with their designs and hand it to them up on stage. This is probably my favorite moment.
Even though it is a competition, everyone's working together, everyone's like being so supportive of each other.
It is such a pain deciding which snowboard to go with. I've got so many ideas and I have absolutely no clue which one's gonna end up being the final one.
For being an art kid, you get to work with a company, and you also get experience with that, especially for first years and second years, so you get a taste what the industry is like.
It's amazing seeing all the boards from everybody else coming together. I think it's definitely my favorite part is the creation and being able to show it off to Never Summer.
It's just been great. Like, I've really enjoyed this project.
Seeing them get that experience and the passion and the ability to express themselves and to push themselves, I think is what I love the most.
I think it's such an awesome opportunity, and the people who run Never Summer are such like fun, creative individuals.
The opportunities that it's given me is it shows me professionalism, it shows me how I work with clients, and it just shows me the general process of a graphic designer in the industry today.
This is one of the first projects where we can make what we want to make, not what we're told to make.
The fact that it's gonna be on the mountain and these people's art is just gonna be, someone's gonna be like enjoying that and appreciating that.
And I leave here and I think multiple times today I've just gotten like goosebumps of just the work that they're doing, just like absolutely like blown away.
This class has helped me with like my drawing skills, with like my typography. It's gotten me good in like Adobe programs too.
After talking with them, I'm like, wow, this is a really good thing if this is resonating then, you know, 5-6 years down the line.
And it's been really great, like being able to share my art with like-minded people and to share this passion for art and like build this really positive, supportive community.
Never Summer has actually just been a wonderful support for the students and their enthusiasm of our program and our school.
We're the only ones that they do it with. So we're very fortunate, our students are very fortunate.
And then we start all over the next year. So, does that help?
Yes.
Okay, is that good? Yeah. Okay, all right, you don't need to interview anyone else, right? You're done. No, I'm just kidding.